G'day everyone and welcome to King Grey Airguns. Today I'm going to be talking about magazines for the air rifles. Now, have you ever been lined up on a target, you cock your rifle, get your breathing sorted, pull the trigger and it dry fires. Your target's scarpered, you've got nothing coming down the barrel to send it to the target. What the hell's going on? Now this can be an issue because of your magazine. I'm going to run through the tension of the spring on your magazine. If it's too tight and it's spinning really quickly, you can cause damage to your skirts. I'll run through that as well. Let's take the magazine apart and break it down. Okay everyone, so here we have my FX magazine. First thing you want to do is take the rounds out. Take that off there like so. You can either get a drill piece and just push them out one at a time, or you can just tip them out, get the majority out there, put them to the side, and then you can just take the tension off and drop them two out. Now we've got an empty magazine. You can see here, it's like the old rotary phones. There'll be some people that know what I'm talking about there, but that used to be how you used to dial them. Point to note that the reason that the police in the UK had their number as 999 was because on a rotary phone that you could just quickly dial them like that, 999, rather than waiting all the way round. That was why the police had 999 as their number. You've got these little like horseshoe shapes here where the actual pellets and slugs fit in. In my instance, on one of them, the pin probe had just damaged one of the tops. So what that does is that compresses that space where the slug goes in. There I put it. What was happening was, as it comes round to, let's rotate this round. So as it got round to about there, it was sticking. So what would happen was, cock the rifle with the one that I just fired, the next one would be a dry fire, and then it would release itself and then it would rotate round. It was incredibly frustrating. Now what I'm going to do is take this apart, show you the components, because there's a couple of things to watch. You don't want it exploding on you with springs and everything else. You can check your tension, and the materials or the tools you're going to need is a pair of tweezers and a 2.5mm hex head. The first thing to note is keep your pressure applied, forcing this down on that dial, because underneath this, when we release this, there is ball bearings and springs and you don't want it exploding on you. So you can hold it, but just keep pressure on that particular piece there and keep it horizontal. Otherwise, when you undo this, it will release the ball bearings and they can escape and roll across the floor, or you might lose them. Just push that down, 2.5mm hex head if I do this with this hand, and release it. There's an O-ring on the back of this, so once you've unscrewed it, you'll have to apply a bit of pressure to release it, to obviously unscrew that past the O-ring. And as you can see there, there's our two ball bearings. So you can take them out. One. Here's the second one. And then in here we have the two springs. So I'm just going to tip them over, keeping pressure on. So there's the two springs. And then if you can slowly release the pressure on this, you'll see it start to lift off, like so. There's a little tiny locating piece on the end of that spring. And when we're talking about the tension of the spring, if you look at the bottom here, you have 4 holes, like 12, 3, 6 and 9. If you've got too much tension on your spring and that dial is snapping shut too fast and you're damaging your pellets, skirts. The skirt of your pellet is the most important part because that provides all the flight characteristics to give you the most accurate shot. So if you cause damage within that magazine, you haven't even fired it and you've built inaccuracies into your rifle setup. Then to apply less pressure, you just choose a different one of them holes to put your pin in. So if you was to put it like round at, put that pin at sort of 9 o'clock and then apply your tension when you're putting it together, and it's too much tension, then what you'll do is you'll rotate it round to 6 o'clock and then try that one, and then you just keep going, and it's not snapping shut and making a big loud crack and effectively damaging your pellets. That's how you adjust the tension. Anyway, there's all your parts. I'm just going to put these here. That's what you should have. If you've not got these 2 ball bearings and you've not got them 2 springs, then they've fallen out somewhere and you just need to locate them. Putting it back together, and like I say, with my case, what I had to do was I had that damage, and what I had to do was get a round file and file that tip just to get rid of that sharp point so that it wasn't pushing that slug up, which was then causing it to be tighter against this edge because it was pushing it up, and therefore that was what was pinching. So I just went around and I checked all of these to make sure they're nice and smooth, there's no jagged pieces sticking out, and that will eliminate any sticking points. Right, putting it back together, all you need to do is, I'm firing slugs, I want a bit of tension on there, and I'm going to put that at that point there. So what you do is you're locating that pin to go in, the end of that spring to go into that hole. You can see the spring through the base, and then all you want to do is, as you rotate it, you get it round to there, put some pressure on the back, and then all you want to do is, with your tweezers, just lift that over the stopping surface, and then that will give you your tension. And like I say, there's quite a lot of tension there. You can probably come to about there. Let's put it there, and then I've located it now. Now there's not enough tension, there's no spring in there at all. So I'll take it round to the next one. So there, I'm just on there. I'm just literally, the pin is located and I'm literally just against the stop there. So when I lift that over, see, it's not snapping as much. So that might be what you want to set for your pellets. But like I say, I need because the slugs are a bit more, there's more weight to it that it's got to carry round. It needs more tension. Here we go, that's what I'm going to set for my, put it down on a flat surface, push down on this inner bezel. Then you want to put your springs in place. So drop them in. Yours may well still be in place, and I just took them out so that you could see them, so if they do fall out you know where they go and what they look like. Once the springs are in place, you want to get your ball bearings and drop them into their locations. Locate this screw into that plastic component there, then you can drop that, let's turn this around, then you can drop that onto there, making sure that you don't dislodge your ball bearings, and then push down tight the whole thing. I use my thumb, then you lift it up because you need to get to the back surface to be able to put your O-ring over there, and then you put your hex nut onto the top and push it down firmly, which will locate that O-ring. Hold the whole thing together, and then you can get your 2.5mm hex head and screw it up. Now if you do it up too tight, it's not really going to move. I can do that up really tight, and it's going to reduce the effect of that spring. So you want to undo it so that you've got the effect of your spring. This part moves freely, which is that holds the cover plate on, and that's the sort of, for slugs, that's what I prefer. It's got a bit of speed there, it's freely moving, you've removed any pinch points on here. Load up your slugs or your pellets and put them in place and just cycle it through just to make sure that there's no pinch points. You can use a drill piece, and then, you know, like a 5mm drill or whatever the size is for your particular rifle, and then you can push that through one at a time just to make sure that it rotates round and it doesn't stick anywhere. Once you know that you're good, you can basically go back to firing your rifle with the reassurance that it's not going to stick anymore, and you're not going to be in a scenario where you pull the trigger, you dry fire it and scare off your target. The other thing as well is you don't want to undo this to be too loose, because if it's too loose, then what happens is it increases the width of your magazine, and what happens is it makes it difficult to load into your rifle, and you'll be wondering what's going on. I've made another video on this. Just as important as not having it too tight is making sure that you don't have it too loose. Well, there we go, everyone. If you like our videos, please like and subscribe. Click the notification bell if you want to be updated when we release new videos. And you can come and join our community on King Great Airguns on Facebook. Thanks very much. Stay safe, shoot straight,